What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Planet Soccer channel here on YouTube. Today, we're doing a fun one. We are doing our team of the season so far in the Premier League. Match week 18. It's weird because we're getting those midweek games, but I think we're through match week 18, which is the midway point. And no, there's 38. So 19 would be the midway point. I think we're in match week 19 right now, but it's basically the midway point in the season. Boxing Day is past us. The new year is coming up. We've definitely had a chance to be impressed by some players and be not so impressed by some players. Today, we're going to talk about the ones that have been impressive. So, Dylan, team of the season. I think this is the first time we've really done this. I think we both feel capable of doing it by now. It's a pretty hot button topic amongst the amateur football media, if you will. And hopefully we can get some engagement on this video and people can tell us why we're right or wrong. But team of the season.
Yeah, I felt
Go ahead.
I felt pretty competent when I completely blindly made mine, popped on, saw our outline, and our first five were all the exact same. So it might be a little boring in the back for listeners because we'll pretty much just be reiterating each other's thoughts. But it did make me feel pretty confident in our abilities if we're all on the same page here. So hopefully, like you said, hopefully our listeners agree with us.
Hopefully
or if you
don't.
we
Honestly,
like that too.
hopefully they don't.
Drop it in the comments. Tell me why Vicario isn't the best keeper in the Premier League this year, and I will laugh at you.
Yeah, we are going to start with goalkeeper today. Honestly, the first time I made this slideshow, I started with right back. I just completely forgot to put goalkeeper in there for some reason. But goalkeeper team of the season so far for me, as a Spurs fan, and you not as a Spurs fan, we both have Vicario. I think there's so much that goes into this, whether it's his fee, whether it's other big money, if you will, goalkeepers being moved around or moving to the Premier League that haven't worked out quite as well as Vicario has. Vicario, for me, watching him every week, I knew he came in with a high reputation from Italy, an excellent shot stopper. The big question was going to be how he plays with his feet, and he has been excellent with his feet.
Phenomenal.
Fantastic with his feet. He's a leader. He's in every picture, when the team goes to hospitals or to schools, and you can just tell he's like fully in the team and he loves it. And I think he's the next Hugo Lloris for this team. He's going to be around for a long time if Man City doesn't come around for him once they get tired of Ederson. So I think there's some good shouts here. Obviously Allison's always going to be there. Emi Martinez, just I feel like you have to say his name because Villa is, and he's the World Cup winner. But for me, it's Vicario. Dylan, I know you don't watch him as much, but what's your kind of impression of him?
I think he's the best keeper with the ball at his feet, and he is a top 3 shot stopper. You could make a really solid argument that he's the best shot stopper. The back line for you guys has not been super consistent as far as who is in the lineup. Yeah. The back line has played well, but who is in the lineup due to discipline or injury has been ever changing, and asking a keeper to still distribute the way he does is a huge catalyst in your offense. And he's really a true modern goalkeeper. I didn't know much about him coming in, so it's kind of funny you said that was a big question mark on him for you guys, because he's been phenomenal with his feet. You mentioned as far as others, Emmy, I'll say a little Pickford has been phenomenal. Everything about Everton's defense has been phenomenal, and he's been at the center of it. Ariel has been really good at West Ham too. A little bit of a slow start, kind of went back and forth with Fabianski, and he's really taken over that role and been a big reason why West Ham's been on a bit of a hot streak here lately. So those are my other shouts, but it's Vicario, and it's not even close. This is a pretty easy one for me.
Yeah, I think the question with his feet, just real quick, is he came from Empoli, who isn't the best team in Italy. So they never really excelled or were able to play out of the back. So he was just never really asked to do that.
Asked to.
Exactly. So for me, he's Italy's
great scouting then.
Yeah. He's Italy's future number one, maybe even current number one.
Should be.
So
he won't be, but he should be.
Yeah. So moving on, right back, Dylan, I'll let you take this one.
This was more a consistency thing for me. I think I went Pedro Porro. I don't think he has had the highest peak of the three. There's really only three right backs worth seriously discussing in this conversation right now. Trent Alexander-Arnold started super slow. Trippier started guns a-blazing, 6 assists in his first 8 games or something like that. It was phenomenal, but he has been horrible the last 5
Yeah.
matches. Like bad, like below, like relegation level right back at times. He's leading the league in errors leading to goals. He's just really struggled. So for me, this is a consistency thing, but it's also good offensive productions. He's got 5 assists on the year, pretty high up there. I don't know exactly where he's at as far as shots created in comparison to others. But he's been really good offensively as he's asked to do. Kind of could play that wing back, but you guys utilize him in a true right back, and his defense has been true right back. Like he has all of the offensive gifts of an Alexander Arnold. Maybe not all of the gifts of Alexander Arnold, but he has the potential to produce similar numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a much more sound defender. You're not going to see very many blatant errors leading to goals from him. So yeah, right now he's the one for me. This could definitely change if Alexander Arnold stays on the run he's on, or if Trippier bounces back. Because I think right now they probably are both better players, but who's had the better season so far? I think it's Porro for sure, because it's just been a lot of consistency.
Yeah, I'm trying to find real fast the rankings for shot creating actions, but Poro's definitely up there with 59, and then 8 goal creating actions. I think with Poro, it's for me like a combination of what we saw last year, just him not getting his feet under him, looking pretty bad at times. And then this year, I mean, even with the inconsistency on the back line, he's been the only consistent one back there for Spurs playing
Mm-hmm.
every game. And it doesn't matter whether he is Romero at his right center back or he's playing with Emerson Royale. I mean, he looks so much steadier this year. And it's really a testament to Ange and where he's being asked to play. He's playing to his strengths and then just not making mistakes on the defensive end. Um, I think Real Madrid will be coming for him pretty soon.
Yeah,
But yeah, as a Spanish player, he's special and he's still young. So really, really excited with what I've seen from him this year. Moving on.
absolutely.
No,
Did you
go ahead.
have any non Big Six shouts? I couldn't
I
really
couldn't
find
I
any. I
couldn't
know we
find
were trying to
any.
do that on a
Yeah.
lot of them. Yeah, nobody really jumped out off the page
I'm
to me
sure
on that one.
somebody does that we
But we
just missed, but um, yeah. So let us know in the comments who we missed.
moving on to center back. I feel like this is like a boring chalk pick because he's on every team of the year all of the time.
Oh
But I'm
wait,
going
Dylan,
Virgil
I'm
van
sorry.
Dijk. He
One
is,
one thing I want to say about right back is I watched some videos on Team of the
yeah,
Season, in prep for this, and a lot of people did them after like the first or second international break, and Trippier was like consensus right back Team of the
oh
Season
yeah,
at that point. So that goes to what you said. His last month and a half has been
has been
not good.
shocking,
Shocking. Yeah.
shockingly poor.
Anyways, back to this first center back.
Yep. Yeah, first center back. Like I said, kind of chalk going Van Dyke. He's a stalwart in the Liverpool back line. A big reason why Liverpool is so successful this year and many other years. He's playing regularly, stayed healthy in the team sheet every week, and I don't have a ton to say. It's Virgil Van Dijk. Honestly, I wish I could give some like grandiose, thought provoking ideas on him, but we all know who he is and what he does.
Mhm.
It was a kind of a no brainer for me.
Yeah, I think more so. Obviously last year he had a down year for a lot of the year. We were wondering whether he crossed his peak, if he was on the decline.
Yep,
And this year he's gotten back to. He's not like world beater this year. He's just a really, really good defender now. And he'll obviously get his head on goals, on corners, on crosses. Um, he's not necessarily as dominant this year, but he's dominant in another way where he's just
it's a different way.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not
It's
the.
hard to explain,
Yeah, you're
but
right.
you know,
It's more of a defensive, like truly defensive
yeah.
minded Van Dyke, and yeah, I I feel kind of boring on these center backs, but what do you got for the second one? We got the same one. We have some fun non Big Six shouts, but who do
Yeah.
you have at your second center back position?
I do want to mention first before we move on, if Mickey Van de Ven had stayed healthy, I would have VDV over VVD because he was so good for Tottenham in those first few weeks and getting the national
Uh,
recognition and all of that.
I would certainly put Van de Ven in. I don't know if I would put him over Van Dyke or over the second one that
That's
we're going to
true.
discuss
Yeah,
here, but I certainly would have him in. But second, I have Saliba,
I
and I
also
believe
have
you do as
Saliba.
well. What are your kind of thoughts on him? Again, this feels like kind of an easy cop out answer a little
Yeah, it's
bit.
a group think
Plays
pick.
every game on a really good,
Yeah,
plays really good on a really good back line, leads the league in clean sheets, and he's the only defender that's played every game for them.
he's
So
French.
it
He gets
was
a
just
ton of
it
media
felt had to
attention.
be.
He, when we played Arsenal, I don't really watch Arsenal a whole lot. Um, I don't really know why. It's not that I hate Arsenal. I would still watch them play, even though I hate them.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good hate watch, man.
Yeah, no
I'm a
kidding.
big hate watch guy.
He didn't look fantastic against Spurs, but that's when Madison's son Basuma were at their best. Kulusevski was making a mockery of people on the right with his shot creating actions. He kind of got twisted and turned around by us a little bit, but I know how steady he is. He's a good passer. He's got good vision. He's got lots of progressive passes. And him and Declan Rice just are fantastic together, moving the ball forward.
Yeah.
So Rye hasn't been fantastic, but Arsenal's still the joint best defense in the league as far as goals allowed. So he's played every game. So yeah, I'll put him in.
It helps when you got Declan playing in front of you, but
It
he has
does.
certainly been
Yeah.
been
I
fantastic.
think Pal Torres has been
Um,
good for Villa. He's another one I consider. Jared Branthwaite, who we have in our
both Everton,
yeah, who
yeah,
we have.
both Everton.
Yeah,
Tarkowski's been really good
yeah, for
too.
sure. And then Marco Senesi from, I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, from Bournemouth. I think he's also been great.
I I also, without fear or with fear of sounding a little Spurs biased on this pod, because we're going to mention all four of what would be your starting center backs. I think Romero, when he has played,
Oh, yeah.
when he's not getting suspended and getting carded, has also been fantastic. But you can't put a guy on here who's missing multiple games due to suspensions.
Yeah.
But when he has played, he has looked phenomenal and would be in the conversation if he could just stay on that effing field and wasn't so damn dirty. I know you think it's kind of chicken or the egg. Did the reputation come first, or did the dirty play and aggressive? We had this conversation a couple weeks ago. It's not always him being dirty. He just plays such an aggressive style of defense. It's gonna look bad sometimes.
Yeah, and
But he's also
it's
been
him
phenomenal
being
when he has
it's him
played.
being dumb and aggressive, like, the spikes up challenges. I don't think he's meaning to do it. He's just getting extra extension, and you have to have your spikes up. I don't think he's actually trying to go into Enzo Fernandez spikes up. A lot of it's follow through, but it looks violent, and he has that
If
reputation. So
if it was a one-time studs up
yeah,
tackle, I would agree. But every other week, I'm seeing a studs up tackle from him. It feels like,
yeah.
but he has been really good and a big part when he has been in of the success of the back line for you
I
guys.
don't think you necessarily hear players call him dirty, which I think says a lot. I don't think they feel like he's out there really trying to hurt them. You just know he's going to shit house. He's very much an Emmy Martinez of center backs, but honestly, like, taking out the discipline stuff, I think he's just as good or better than Saliba when he's on the field, smart at his
Yeah,
best,
absolutely.
playing the way he can. I mean, Messi
Yeah,
said it
yeah,
best. So,
absolutely.
all right, moving on to left back. Man, my team is absolutely
Insert
killing it, baby.
insert Spurs defender here.
Yeah, this one was much more of a default pick. I think left back is pretty thin throughout the world, and it is in the Premier League as well. You've got some good young talent, and we both have Destiny Udogi here, who's also a good young talent, but he's just been so good in the Spurs side. He's getting to have a little bit of disciplinary issues. He's got a red. He was just serving a suspension for a fifth yellow. So stay on the field a little bit more, maybe. It doesn't help that we don't have a true left back like backup for him. Ben Davies goes out there, who's
Right.
a left-sided center back. But at his best, he's pocketed Salah and Saka, and he's world class with Van de Ven by his side. I mean, with that cover, he feels so much more free to get forward and come central like Ange likes him to do. So,
And he's scary getting forward too. Like
yeah,
he is
yeah,
just as good getting forward as a Trippier or a Poro on the other side. Like
yeah,
he's fantastic getting forward. He is a guy though that if disciplinary becomes an issue, we might have to be really scraping around to find who else we want here.
yeah,
I will say Zinchenko has looked good when he has played. He is not starting very often though. He's playing in almost every game, but not starting very often. So I have a hard time when your manager isn't selecting you for 5 games starting to pick you. I don't necessarily know why he's not starting because when I have watched Arsenal and he's been in, he's looked really good. But if your own manager doesn't think you're the best left back to play 5 out of your first 18 matches, then like I'm probably not leaning towards you as my team of the season
yeah,
so far. But when he has played, he's looked really really good.
yeah, for sure.
Do you have any non-big six shouts at left back? I feel like I want to go back to the well again, to Everton. As much as it pains me, I've been hyping Everton up so far, and that hurts my soul. But they have been fantastic, and the back line is a big reason why. And left back is no different. Mikolenko, however the heck you say it. I'm terrible with those Eastern European names. Has
Mikolenko.
been really
I
solid.
just heard it on the TV this past weekend, so it's Mikolenko. Yeah, and then God, Dylan, you're gonna have to help me with that pronunciation. You looked it up before the episode. Eight nor
It's French.
eight
It's
Nori
very French sounding.
Wolves. We know who he is,
Yeah,
guys. We promise we know who he is. Just
the Wolves
the
guy.
pronunciation really is tough for us. I think he was probably my number 2 behind Udogi. If I were to be really hipster, I would have put him just because I am a little bit frustrated with Destiny right now and his disciplinary record. After last year, if you would ask me going in, I would have said Milos Kirkis would have been a huge shout. At Bournemouth, he was getting big wonder kid plaudits from the people that would know. Hasn't been as great this year. I don't know if he's been injured or what's been the deal. No,
Can't
he's
say I watch a
he's
ton of
been he's
Bournemouth,
been
so
he's
I
been
don't
playing. He's been
necessarily know.
playing. So just not a whole lot of production for him. Doesn't look as promising as he did last year, but still one to watch young moving forward.
All right, midfield. I think we all know where to start. Whether you want to play a midfield 3 or a defensive mid, I don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
It starts with Declan Rice in every scenario. He is absolutely worth the price tag. He is a huge reason why Arsenal is where they are this year. He has been absolutely fantastic. Again, kind of like Van Dijk-esque. I don't have a ton analytical to say other than he is absolutely world class and by far the best midfielder in the Prem this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. Looking at a list of the most expensive Premier League transfers ever, Paul Pogba, Lukaku, Antony, Bardiol, Grealish, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Declan Rice. Is he the only $100 million plus player that's been worth his signing?
So far, I
At this
would
point?
probably have to say
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. And it's super small sample size, but like I don't see it going down from here. I only can see it going up.
Yeah.
He fits that side perfectly and everything they try to do. I don't have a ton more to say. Declan is phenomenal, and Arsenal is very, very lucky to have him.
Yep.
I think we finally get one where we don't agree.
Yeah.
So I'll let you kick it off. Yours is a little bit more hipster on the surface, but when you really break it down, there's a lot of reasons why. So I'll let you kick off our next midfield.
So for this one, for me, was kind of pick one of 2 Villa guys. Douglas Luiz started off as, with him, I mean, behind James Maddison, obviously, probably the top performing midfielder in the league through 10 match weeks, I would say. Just phenomenal. I am going to go with John McGinn, though, partly because of the consistency, partly because I actually looked at the stats and realized, damn, John McGinn, go off. He leads the team in shot creating actions, progressive passes, expected assists. Second in key passes, his heat map covers the entire field. I think he's the catalyst for this Villa side. Unai Emery, probably his favorite player, knowing kind of Unai Emery's style. And shout out to the Scotland native, man. I mean, he's absolutely killing it this year. Douglas Luiz will probably be the one to get the $100 million move next. However, John McGinn I think he's
is Scottish, so nobody will ever pay over 50 million for
yeah,
him, whether that's right or
yeah.
wrong. That I don't, not that I disagree with him. He was my kind of first on the cutting board, or the cutting room floor, however the hell that saying goes. I went Rodri, a little bit more chalk. He has filled in very nicely in multiple facets. He was obviously the star of the Champions League final last year, and has not missed a beat, despite how much turnover there has been at times, especially in the attacking part of the field. For Man City, he is a catalyst for that offense. They have started to struggle a little bit lately, bounced back today with a 3-1 win at Everton. But he's a big reason that they have not completely fallen off while having some of this turnover. Obviously, no KDB is massive. Holland being hurt is massive, but he is a big reason why they're still able to be fairly productive. Not the Man City we're used to, but still fairly productive and fairly threatening. And I believe do you have any thoughts on him? Kind
You
of
know,
chalk on
I
him, but
left Rodri off because I was under the impression that he had missed like half the season, but I'm looking at his match logs and he hasn't.
no, he has
So
not.
I might have messed up there. Rodri is one of the best Premier League midfielders of all time, top 20, 15 probably. He is Man City's go guy right now while De Bruyne is out. So no qualms with that. Good shout. But I'm glad I got McGinn in there so we could differ a little bit.
Yeah, no, I am too. That's a little bit more fun than just going big six, big six, big six.
Yeah.
Although Villa is certainly looking a big six side.
Yeah.
For my last midfielder, another one that pains me. This is almost like, you could almost say half of my team that I've listed is like my most hated starting 11, but also the starting 11 of the season. I have to say Bruno Fernandes has been phenomenal this year. By far the most effective offensive creating player in the midfield thus far in the Premier League. All the stats show that he has been a catalyst of what Man U is able to offer. It's not his fault that Højlund can't score. It's not his fault
Well,
that
now he
Rashford
can.
isn't scoring. Kind of.
He got his first Premier League goal finally.
Kind of, right? Yeah, 14 matches in after spending 70 million on a guy,
Yeah.
but he has created chances. They're not all taken. He is an absolutely infuriating player to play against, not only because of his ability box to box in the midfield to create and defend at times, but he's obnoxious to watch. So it really hurts me putting him there. I think he could be a little bit more offensively productive in terms of goal scoring and shot accuracy, obviously. But he's one of the better creating midfielders in the league for sure.
Where's Man U sitting in the table right now if they don't have Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, Chelsea.
I'd say lower than that.
Lower than Chelsea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues right now. So similarly to Rodri kind of keeping Man City afloat with some of their injuries, Bruno's done the same, if not more. You could argue, if not more, than Rodri has for United. So much as I hate him, got to give him a shout. Pains me, hurts my soul, but here we are.
I get it. For me, I've gone Bernardo Silva. And it's weird. I don't always think of him as a midfielder because he does just run all over the field forever, never stopping. He's got like 6 lungs. And his heat map does show kind of more of a wing, but he's been used in that midfield role. Him
Yeah.
and Julian Alvarez have kind of played in the 10 some for Pep while De Bruyne has been out. He's per 90's top rated midfielder in the Premier League. He's constantly available. He's constantly producing. He's got 5 goals and I don't know how many assists. 5 goals, 4 assists, and lots of creation. So I think that if they had sold him this summer, which I think he did want to go, they'd be in even more of a world of hurt for Man City than they are right now.
Yeah, Man City hurt.
I do want to say, though, even with how much time James Madison has missed, I was very tempted to put him in here because his first
I
6
was
games
too.
were so good. And you probably will still see people put James Madison in there just because he was unbelievable
I
for that time.
I would say if he stayed healthy, he'd be the first name on this team sheet for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was that good.
Like
He was that good when
player
healthy,
of the
but
year type of stuff.
missing 10, 12 games through 18 is
Yeah.
I can't stomach putting him there, but he was phenomenal when healthy. So yeah, that would have been an absolute no brainer, but just too much time missed to include him. I know we have a lot of non Big Six shouts here, so I'll
There's a
let you just kind of run
there's
through them.
a
I don't
lot
want
of
to spend a
shouts.
ton of time on them,
Yeah.
but there is a lot of non Big Six midfielders that have been pretty impressive this year. So run through our list, and then we'll move on
Yep.
to the goal scoring guys.
So kind of a theme throughout the episode, Everton obviously playing well right now, well-ish. Decore, Everton has been a massive boost for not boost. He's been there, but he's been great. He's been steady. He's been consistent. He's exactly what Sean Dyche needs in a box-to-box midfielder. I was impressed with him, or I have been impressed with him every time I've watched Everton. He's been great. Lewis Cook, Fulham. He's kind of been better than Polina this year, in my opinion. Kind of a breakout year for him, if you will. Tom Kearney from Bournemouth, just a huge asset to their great run of form in their top half performing season, I think they're still sitting 10th after today. And then Alex Scott with Bournemouth. He would be the best James Madison replacement. And we almost went in for him over the summer, even after getting Madison, but didn't. He looked phenomenal this past weekend in their game. And he's been great for them since coming back from injury, whenever that was. Obviously, Pascal Gross, huge part of what De Zerbi does at Brighton, has been for both these last 2 years now, continues to be this year. His vision of the field, his ability to make those passes that makes the De Zerbi system go is really unmatched. And he's the one midfielder that I feel like Brighton has been able and probably will be able to hold on to. So he will be a steady presence for them. James Ward-Prowse, West Ham, obviously been really good. You can't replace Declan Rice, and they don't necessarily play the same position. But Ward-Prowse, when he's been on the field, we knew he was a Premier League player. He needed to stay in the Premier League, and I'm sure West Ham is very glad that they were able to get him back into the Premier League. Lucas Paqueta is a midfielder that has been playing sort of more forward, but when he slides inside and plays in more of that creation number 10, he's been excellent. He's getting even better integrated into this West Ham side. I still maintain that he looks bored at West Ham sometimes, but I think he's happy to have Kudus and all.
Come north, come
Yeah,
with the Brazilian boys. We could
yeah.
use him.
I'm sure he's thrilled to have Kudus to pair with this year, and they're both catching fire right now. And then obviously Douglas Luiz, who we mentioned earlier for Villa, has been excellent as well. All right, moving on.
Time to hop back on the Spurs train.
I think so.
Choo choo.
I think so. We both have Son at one of our forwards. Obviously, he plays on the left. He scored most of his goals at striker. For me, I mean, to take his numbers away, he took on captaincy at Tottenham. He took on the striker role. He's the new face of the club, and all he's done is delivered. He's a great captain. He's a great captain when things have been going good, and they've been going good all year. My question for him is, how is he going to be that guy that we don't know Son to be when things are going bad? Like, how is he going to get in people's face and do that sort of thing, respond to the critics? But that's off the field stuff. On the field, been fantastic. He's helped Richarlison integrate back into the 9. start scoring goals. He's been great for Spurs this year. They wouldn't be where they are without him.
Yeah, my only other two that even crossed my mind, and not that there was competition, but to just give a couple other guys shouts. Anthony Gordon has been absolutely phenomenal for us at Newcastle. He's many games he is the only offensive threat we seem to have, especially when both Wilson and Isak were out.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Jeremy Doku at Man City has been phenomenal,
He could be
absolutely incredible.
in this spot if he hasn't missed the last 4 games, 4 or 5 games, I
Right.
think.
Yeah, 4 or 5 games. Yeah,
But if you look at
he's
go
been
ahead.
he's been incredible though. I mean, to force 100 million, almost 100, whatever it was, Jack Grealish to a every game bench role when healthy is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
He kind of fits what they need in that position a little bit more. I think that certainly has something to do with it, but he's played phenomenal, especially when him and Holland were both healthy. They were firing on all cylinders. He's been great when healthy.
There's a chart out there of Doku, and it's I think I actually have it. Sorry. It's a chart. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh no, that's not it. Fuck. Anyways, basically it's like progressive carries and take-ons, and it shows like who's done best at both. And you've got like Kulisevsky and Fernandez and those type of guys that are like really good, like top any other year. And then Doku's like off the chart. Like he was so good running at people, progressing, getting passes into the penalty area. I mean, it was fun. He's been phenomenal to watch when he's been on the field this year.
Yeah, he's been incredible.
All right, another boring one. Other side,
Yeah.
you've got Salah. I've got Miguel Almiron. Psych.
Oh, I hate you. That was good. I hate you. Yeah, I mean Salah. It's kind of one of those inevitable. It feels kind of chalky, but I mean, how do you not put Salah here? Little behind the scenes, I was trying to put this together and trying to get cute. I tried to go Jared Bowen, and then you were like, "Wait, you don't have Salah," and I went, "Oh shit, I sure don't." But yeah, absolutely, have to give it to Salah. Bowen and Kudus have both been phenomenal. Like we've said in past episodes, West Ham is kind of funky right now with where they're playing guys. I don't know if I should call Kudus a right wing or not. I think that's where he plays best. And even if he is right side of the midfield, he's really kind of playing more of that wing position. So yeah, those are the two other shouts I have. It looks like I may have lost Reed, so I will move on to striker, which I think, even though I know we kept some guys off due to injury previously or throughout the season in some of the previous positions, I have to go Holland. Still leading the league in goals, even though he has missed, I think, 3 or 4 matches now, maybe 5 league matches. At least 3 or 4 matches, Holland has been out of the City starting 11, but it's still a kind of no-bro, and he is back. Welcome back, maybe, and he's gone again. So I'm just going to try to rally through these technical difficulties. But yeah, for me, it's Holland. I don't really think there's a lot else out there that would threaten him for this position. Solanke has been absolutely phenomenal, and so has Ollie Watkins. Ollie's slowed down a little bit as of late, and Solanke has really picked up some steam. But those are my other two shouts. If you've made it this far, apologize for our technical difficulties, but please give us your thoughts. Drop them in the comments. Where did we get it right? More importantly, where did we get it wrong? As we said, I'm sure there are some non-Big Six guys that have been left off. Maybe no Big Six guys left off of our striker conversation. When you look at the Chelsea strikers, the Man U strikers, Darwin Nunez's inability, Nicholas Jackson's inability. So yeah, striker's a little bit thin for me. Reed, are you back? Are you with us?
Hello.
I was just about to wrap up. You got back just in time because you said you will decide striker when we get there, and we are here. I was starting to wrap up, but give me your thoughts on striker. I went with Holland, despite the injury. I know it kept some other guys off our list, but he's still leading the league in goals and is by far the best striker in the Prem. But what do you got for me there?
I'm going Solanke.
Yeah, I gave him
Screw
a
it.
shout. That was my
Okay.
only other one. It really in contention. Ollie Watkins, you could argue at a time, but he's cooled off as of
Yeah.
late. But Solanke has been phenomenal. And if we are taking guys off due to injury, I have no qualms with putting Solanke in due to Holland's injury.
I think my deal with Solanke over Holland is it's like my issue with giving a 22-year-old Trent Alexander-Arnold Young Player of the Year in the Premier League. Like we know Holland's the best striker in the league. Like obviously he's the best, but I mean Solanke is just part.
Is he up to
He's
12
been
now? How many goals does he have? I want to say he's up to 12 now.
he's
Playing
up
in a
to
Bournemouth
12.
side that and
Mm-hmm.
we talked you were talking earlier about what has gotten Bournemouth to 10th in the table, and I think it maybe doesn't start and end with Solanke, but it sure as hell starts with Solanke. 12
It
goals
ends
for
with
him has been
Solanke for
phenomenal.
sure. It ends with him putting the fucking ball in the net is what it ends with.
Touche,
I mean,
touche.
I feel like we've mentioned Bournemouth guys at every level for our non-big six, and I mean that's warranted. But they get Solanke the ball, and he gets that thing into the back of the net. So Tottenham has been softly linked with him. I don't love it while Richarlison's still at the club. If Richarlison wants to learn to speak Saudi, then I'll take Solanke. But now I'm obviously a fan of the way Richarlison's been playing right now. But Solanke's been incredible. Very very Mitrovic-esque as far as like putting the team on his back, scoring those goals that they need. So you obviously see with Fulham this year, not what they have been with Mitrovic, although they did put up 2 5-0 wins a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it's Holland, but I'm going Solanke. Coach of the year, Dylan.
Unai.
It's
I mean,
one of two, right? It's one of two.
for me, it's got to be Unai because of where they're at in the table. I think I certainly understand the and shout that you are about to give, um, but doing it at a non-Big Six, I know they have a borderline, if not solidified, Big Six starting 11 right now. So maybe that is like I've talked about in the past. I think Big Six is a thing of the past. I think we're really moving towards like a Big Eight, and Villa
Yeah.
is going to be one of those eight. But I give it to Unai, what he's been able to do and have them at this point of the season where they're at in the table. If they hadn't dropped that midweek game last week, I think it would be a no-brainer, Unai, for me, because they would have been sitting first at this point in the season. But I'm still going to give him the edge over Ange. And what Ange has done,
Only 3 points up on us with a game in hand, though.
yeah,
So
and what Ange has been able to do since losing James Madison with all of the inconsistency in the team sheet in the back four with all the injuries.
We've played 3 games with 4 fullbacks on the back line. I'm sure I know you can relate, but y'all
Oh
also
yeah, oh yeah,
aren't sitting with 36 points.
oh yeah. Eddie Howe is not in this conversation this year. Certainly was last year, but not really
Yeah.
sniffing it this year. But yeah, I think it's one of those two for sure. I don't think you could really argue strong one way or another against them. I think the biggest argument for Ange is what he's done with the injuries taken into consideration, and for Unai, it's being where they're at in the table at this point in the season.
Yeah, for sure. Dylan, I really hope that didn't mess up the recording for your editing. When I left, it should be fine. But guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know who you would replace and where. Liverpool fans, let us know why Szoboszlai should be in the team of the season in the midfields, I suppose. Because I have seen
good.
that.
He's been
He
pretty
has been
damn
good.
good.
He has been good. He had some pretty bad games as well, which I am going to hold against him. However, we appreciate y'all watching, listening. As always, make sure to interact, like, subscribe, comment, share, all of the above. We will probably make a TikTok, try to get 1 minute TikTok out of our team of the season, just to put it out there. Follow us on TikTok. It's at Planet Soccer Pod, and we will talk to y'all next time.